When Lajohntay scored, the whole cafeteria erupted last night. Everybody stood up and went crazy. And checking the feed on social, he's everywhere.
What you can't take away from him is that he's a great college football recruiter. If you're watching this, it is 12-day. Mr. Shedeur Sanders is going to face off against Jimmy Horn. A nice preseason debut. But the thing is, seems like a lot of Colorado players have been taking over the preseason. That's not the only thing we're going to talk about. But that's one of the main themes today in this preseason wrap-up after a game where Lajohntay Wester does what he does, the way he gets it done, the way he does it. I'm feeling a type of way. I think, Coach Prime, I think Colorado fans are feeling the type of way. So while everybody anticipates Shedeur's game tonight, which, again, we are probably live if you're watching it. Check out my channel because we will be watching the entire game together with Shedeur getting apparently 50 snaps. But last night, it seemed like the Colorado Buffalo, Mr. Lajohntay showed up. So how does Coach Prime feel about that?
All of your guys who are out in NFL camps are performing well.
Mm-hmm.
How rewarding is it for you to kind of see those guys take that step?
That's another recruiting tool. When Lajohntay scored, the whole cafeteria erupted last night. Everybody stood up and went crazy. And checking the feed on social, he's everywhere. And they got to mention where he came from. So not only his hometown, but his college. Tremendous. But we knew he was a dog. We knew what he was capable of. He just needed opportunity. And we have a multitude of kids on this team that just needs the same opportunity. But the commonality that he shares with some of our guys, the work ethic. Coach Phillips talked about he never graded under a 3. I think he only got a 3, which means average, only once last year in practice. Everything else was 4 and up. And the scale goes to 5, 0 being the lowest.
So I said something, and it's something that I've been saying for a long time, and it's a declaration that I think if Coach Prime is good at nothing, if you hate Coach Prime, XYZ, you think he's a bad coach, okay, what you can't take away from him is that he's a great college football recruiter, just nonstop, full stop. I apologize. And I said that because you're looking at somebody, again, with a gold jacket, with experiences that people and other unique athletes, even they haven't acquired, right? That was the big thing with Travis Hunter, getting the first 5-star assigned to an FCS school, actually first to the HBCU, if you want to count it all, right? And Travis Hunter, how am I going to trust somebody to play both positions if it's not one of the only people in NFL history that's ever done it at a successful career and done it for a full season, right? So there are certain things that Deion Sanders has done in his career that just when I look at you on a football aspect, I can tell you I've done this. I know how to get to the league. I know people in the league. And after this last class, Deion Sanders has shown, hey, I can send 8 people to the league, right? I believe it was 4 or 5 drafted, but 8 in totality, assigning it to teams last year. And then, of course, Mr. Xavier Worthy still in the league, right? And to piggyback off what he's saying, this is the things that bolster it, right? It's easy for us to say, hey, he recruits dogs, but what else did I say? I say he also recruits high-level players. I said, I don't want y'all to get it twisted and try to reframe it or try to package it in some other way. No, Deion Sanders knows the character, knows the athletic ability, and knows what they can bring to the table. Why do you think Jimmy Horn Jr. is so popular? It's not just because he's a Colorado player. He's a Colorado player with a story that's been through adversity. Doesn't think I do Will Shepherd videos. Sometimes they don't get as much views, but when I do a Lajohntay Wester video, right? It people are invested. They see the transfer, the commitment, what he did at Colorado, being a safety blanket. Like, these are players that it's not just, oh, I see him run fast and jump high and they're in Florida. No, this is a FAU and USF wide receiver. How many of y'all were watching USF and FAU tape? I'm sure some of y'all are, because some of y'all watch real football. I got it. But you get what I'm saying, right? That's what elite recruiters do. They see beyond just your make and model. Do I need to pause on that? I don't know. Your make and model, and they see your character. They see what you've been through. They can relate to you, right? I have been one of the biggest critics of Coach Prime because Coach Prime is one of my favorite sports entities, right? I hate the clock management at Colorado. Why haven't we already been focused on getting strong offensive line? Why? I get the run game is struggling, but y'all were still ranked dead last in rush attempts, right? I can go on for days on real deal. Like I'm not one of them only one-siders. Look, it's real football. I'm gonna be honest with Coach Prime, but elite recruiter, son. Right, that is one side to that coin of being a top tier coach, and he's already figured it out. When's the last time he ain't had a 5-star and or stole a top tier recruit? Juju Lewis's last cycle before that, freshman All-American Jordan Seaton, now being projected to be the number 1 offensive tackle in the 2027 NFL draft class. Right? Cormani McClain was a 5-star. I don't understand, man. I don't get it. I don't understand. I do get it, and I do understand it. Colorado's producing dogs. So let's go on to it. Just wanted to let you know that, the Buffaloes are taking over the NFL. And we're going to check in. But first, I want to check in with the NFL by and large. Now, this is actually a great creator, Mr. Lobsbleed. I don't know how to say that, but you see this TikTok. He, I believe, is actually a Browns creator. So I actually see some Shador stuff. I like getting some unbiased stuff from Browns people on Shador. See how it really looking. Hey, man, he ain't had nothing bad to say, and he's been pretty unbiased. But here are some takeaways. We're going to listen to him, and then I'm going to give my little 2 cents on here things.
Here is everything you need to know from last night's preseason games. Jalen Milroe was decent for Seattle, 6 for 10, 60.
Oh, sorry about that.
Passing yards. He looked decently accurate, missed a couple throws, but the dynamic rushing ability and ability to extend plays was really on display. 3 carries for 38 yards in his snaps. You may look at the box score with Ashton Genty and say, wow, he had 3 carries for -1 yards. But truthfully, the offensive line did him absolutely no favors. This game wound up tied 23-23 regulation. You don't play overtime in the preseason. Look at Marshawn Lynch at the end of this. Yes, he's a credentialed photographer now. Look at him. Joe Burrow.
Here's that here's that Marshawn Lynch. I think I can show you this. I do think this is, property of somebody, but if I slow it down, I was confused. I think no, we weren't watching this live, but I was watching this and I was like, why did that cameraman shove this NFL player? I was like, what's going on? And then you find out it's Marshawn. Lynch. You a wild boy, Marshawn. You a wild boy.
Burrow was 9 for 10 for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns, nearly perfect passer rating, and he was the second best quarterback on the field. Tanner McKee literally looked like the second coming of Peyton Manning last night. 20 for 25, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown on the touchdown.
Out of Stanford.
Anthony Richardson got absolutely drilled, left the game, but x-rays came back clean, so he's okay. Daniel Jones was okay. He did what he usually
He was okay, man.
He does, where he has 1 or 2 plays like this one that make you think, wow, this guy might be good, and then he was missing some throws that he probably shouldn't have been missing. The biggest takeaway from the night is Keaton Mitchell is all the way back. He looked really, really good yesterday. And Ravens wide receiver Lajohntay Western, one of the most electric players from training camp, did this on a punt return last night. This guy could be a weapon for this Baltimore offense. Make sure you follow for more NFL preseason updates.
Yeah, man. Shout out to him. Y'all make sure y'all follow him. Lobes Leads on TikTok. I'm still trying to dip my toe into the TikTok world, so when I get there, I'll start plugging it. But it's down below if y'all really want to check me out. I'm just yapping over her like I do over here. But I want to focus on 2 things. I actually don't have it up here. Let me grab this real quick. So the thing I want to talk about, well, really the person I want to talk about is 6'6", load of a human. Johnny Wilson, 3 receptions for 73 yards. He came out of Florida State. We're going to go over his Florida State records. He didn't make a large impact other than just being a big body to throw to sometimes. I mean, when he got to the league, I think a lot of people were kind of conversating about, hey, does he make the tight end transition? First off, I don't know what Jalen Hurts said to him, but I guess they was just feeling it. Shout out to the Super Bowl MVP, right? And Super Bowl champion, Mr. Jalen Hurts. But you know what I'm saying? He had his groove on, 3 receptions, 73 yards. But this is somebody who didn't even crack 1,000 yards in any of his receiving yards. He didn't crack a receiving yard. 1,000-yard receiving seasons in any of his appearances. That 2022 season obviously is most successful with 897 yards, decent average at 20.9, 5 touchdowns in that last year, which was a magical run for FSU, obviously, before the sad days of 2024. But in 2023, Went almost undefeated, almost perfect season, all that fun stuff, and was still a bright spot in the defense. Defense in the offense. As you see, the targets didn't go down a lot. The average of yards might have gone down, but again, more of a tight end style, more of a, hey, let's take the top off, more of a, hey, he's 6'7". We're gonna throw the ball to you sometimes, but a lot of times with those big receivers, they can't, or just big players in general, they can't put it together, right? They can't put the athleticism together with the frame. So I'm happy to see Johnny Wilson at the age of 24. I believe this is his second or third year in the league. So it's great to see him, hopefully making an impact, because he's already starting to make things happen. At least for preseason. We're gonna watch this in slow mo because we can't really watch it. So you know how they get down. So let's watch this slowfully. Go ahead and play. It's only 8 seconds too. So this is what you can't teach this. You know what I'm saying? You can't teach somebody just going up and absolutely dominating, right? You know what I mean? Right on your fingertiplets. Right on your fingertiplets. I know you got your hands on it, but me just being a little longer helps. Pause. Right? That thing's in the air, and I got the hands reach and everything. I'm on the back of your head, son. I don't know if you can see that, but he's on the back of his head, son. Right there, all up on the back of his head, son. He brings it in for a nice catch, and that's the thing that really stood out to me with Johnny Wilson was like I talked about, right? The athleticism to be able to pull your frame together and to have real productive plays, right? What does that entail? And the fact that he's able to, make these sorts of body adjustments, right? On these, he was catching back shoulders, he was doing stuff, he was contorting his body. It wasn't just, hey, let me get underneath. He was going up and getting it, using a maximum amount of athleticism. So shout out to him, man. I think he's going to be a great story to kind of follow throughout the league. Another interesting story to follow. We want to hear from Mr. Teddy Bridgewater. We did a small video about this, but it kind of irked me. Obviously this is somebody who won a state championship for his alma mater in high school, in Northwestern, and he's gonna speak about, Miami Northwestern rather. He's gonna speak about what it is and coming back. He is officially a part of the Bucs, so he's trying to back up Baker Mayfield. So that's dope to see. We can check up on Baker Mayfield and Shiloh at the same time. Why not? But I do think it's important to kind of hear what he had to say about that situation.
For the way things went down in South Florida with the coaching situation, I understand you were trying to do things out of the goodness of your heart, but just, how are you going to ultimately look back on that, and what do you want people to know about you?
Honestly, I think everyone knows that I'm just a cheerful guy, a cheerful giver as well, and I'm a protector. I'm a father first before anything. And when I decided to coach, those players became my sons, and I want to make sure that I just protect them in the best way that I can. And I think that's what came about. Minding up lessons in a tough neighborhood, and sometimes things can happen when kids are walking home and different things like that. So I just try to protect them, give them, a ride home instead of having to take those dangerous walks. But I just want people to continue to see me for the person that I've been, from the time I arrived in the NFL, from the time that I arrived at University of Louisville. Just a humble guy who has a big heart and a cheerful giver.
How hard was that for you to go through that?
It was difficult, because I have so many relationships with those young men down there in South Florida, at Miami Northwestern. The bonds that I've established with, Leon Strada, Calvin Russell, Nicholas Lanier, Nicholas St. Joseph. Just the list goes on, and it's a great group of kids, and they see so much hope when they look at me. And I always said it's food for my soul. It's the way that I feed my soul, and it allows me to stay young being around those kids. So I think now that I'm back in the league, it's actually going to be extra motivation for them as well, because they'll get to play a game on Friday night and probably get to drive across the state and come watch the Bucs play and see Coach on the sideline. So it's like, man, coaches just continue to just serve as motivation, and continue to influence us in every way possible. He's showing us that, he can make it to the NFL. He's showing us that he can coach. He's showing us that there are different avenues of life that you can take, and hopefully I'm hoping that they're taking notice of that.
Impress.
I want to stop it there because, Teddy Bridgewater is somebody who's very special to me as a player, right? So when I speak about, I think this is kind of a full circle moment, right? The same reason that I follow Deion Sanders, I'm going to continue to follow Teddy Bridgewater. I was actually following his high school run. I was waiting to see what happened with everything, and he ended up winning the state championship. So again, we've already made videos about it, but Teddy Bridgewater has a special place in my heart. Growing up watching Louisville football, right? He's the reason Lamar Jackson, as a South Florida kid, went to Louisville to go ahead and break records, win Heisman's, and do those different things. So I don't think he's just important to me, but I think he's important to a lot of people. So his inspiration not only felt through having a great impact and giving back to his alma mater, but also, he won a state championship. Like, what else y'all want from him? So I'm very excited that Teddy, can take a break away. Hey, I won a state championship. I brought my guys what they need, the notoriety they need. I bet you all them Florida schools are going to be knocking on the door. And I know, from the NFL angle, I know Teddy's going to be able to continue to be a positive influence on that proper kid of groups. And to see him be in a role that I think you and me and, I know for me, from my personal experiences have had, and that's having a coach, somebody to look out to, a second set of parents, even if you had parents, but a second set of mentorship, of leadership, of guidance, right? I do want to stress how much it means, not just that Teddy Bridgewater, someone that is important to me just on a football, hey, I watch football, but also on a, hey, he's giving back and continues to give back as a coach, which I think coaches and teachers are some of our most important assets in building the future of our young men. So I love to see Teddy do that. I love to see Teddy be moved by that and continue to do that, because I think he's someone that definitely needs to spread his word and spread his guidance on it. So I would love to see him get through this, get another year of them NFL checks, and bring him right back to Northwestern, because I think that's what he's going to do. So, hey, man, if you're ready for some more preseason, y'all let me know. I will be live 6:45. We're going to be talking about Lajohntay, Shedeur. Y'all know what's going on, man. Hey, they said Shedeur going to get a lion's share of them snaps, so it's going to be crazy. Want to see where Jimmy at, you know what I'm saying? See what he can do. So if y'all going to be there, just check the channel. I'm probably either live or you can just come in the waiting room. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Like this video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you like football content of all shapes, sizes, forms, and also fashions. Continue to be great. Thank you for supporting. See you next time, and peace.